Welcome to Power Code Music. Today we're going to do a long-awaited upgrade and setup to my Yamaha FG820 12-string acoustic guitar. And here she is. The FG820 is a 12-string guitar that sounds good, but I believe with a nut and a bridge saddle upgrade replacement, this could help the guitar sound great. Also, my FG820 has not been set up, so this is something we're going to do along the way as well. Stay with me, because at the end of this video, we're going to do a sound demo of this guitar with the upgrades, and that is something you're not going to want to miss, so stay tuned. Also, I am not a professional luthier, and this is a specialized skill set that I have tons of respect for. So if you feel uncomfortable or unsure about doing any guitar work on your FG820 yourself, it's strongly recommended that you take your guitar to a professional service center for assistance by a professional luthier. This is often money well spent to avoid damaging your instrument and wasting a ton of money. Now, I've done 2 previous videos on this channel in regards to the FG820. The first is called Yamaha FG820 12-string acoustic guitar quick review. The second video is called Yamaha FG820 12-string acoustic guitar sound demo. Now that sound demo is of the stock guitar, so you will get to hear how the FG820 sounds before the upgrades are installed that I'm going to do now. The first video, which is the quick review, that provides detailed information about the Yamaha FG820 that you're not going to want to miss. So after this video, check these 2 other videos out. Moving on, first we'll go over the Yamaha FG820 specifications so that we can understand how the instrument is constructed in order to get an idea of why it sounds the way it does. First, let's talk about the body. The body is a dreadnought body type, and the top wood here is a solid spruce. The back of the guitar, along with the sides, are mahogany. The bracing pattern that actually holds up the top, the solid spruce top of this guitar, is a scalloped bracing pattern. As you can see, the body finish is gloss. Let's talk about the neck. The nut that we're going to replace is 1.8 inches or 45 millimeters. The fingerboard is rosewood, as you can see. The neck wood, let's talk about that. This is NATO, or some might pronounce it natto. This is a collective name for wood from mora trees. It's a dense wood and finishes well. It's very similar to mahogany, as you can see. The scale length of this guitar is 25 inches. The number of frets is 20. The neck finish is also a matte neck finish, which I love. It's nice and smooth. Let's talk about the upgrades that we're going to perform on my Yamaha FG820. The nut, of course, in the stock guitar is urea, which is a plastic, and that's going to be replaced with a Graphtec nut. The bridge saddle, okay, is also urea, plastic, gots to go, and that's going to be replaced with a Graphtec saddle, okay. The strings will be replaced with Ernie Ball Earthwood 12-string lights for acoustic guitars. With this, let's talk about replacing the nut here. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to remove the nut from the guitar. Then we're going to measure the old nut height against the new nut height to get an idea of how it was previously set up. Then we are going to shape the new nut and size it for the slot so that it'll fit. And finally, we are going to install the new nut in the empty slot on the guitar to complete the upgrade of the nut. So this is the model of Tusk nut that we're going to be installing. And this is the existing nut. Now we're going to remove the existing nut. We're going to use a block, and we're going to protect our fretboard with some paper, and we'll put the block in front of the nut, and with our trusty hammer we're going to give this nut some love taps. Very carefully are we going to tap this until it loosens and comes off. There you have it. The nut is off. You can see the old nut still has some wood chips on it, but no big deal. And here is the open slot where we're going to place the new nut. Right in that slot. So what we're doing now is we're kind of sizing up the old nut and the new nut to kind of get an idea of the previous setup. This way what we're going to do is have a good idea for what the new setup is going to look like. And for shaping the nut, this is the sandpaper used, and we're going to go ahead now and begin to shape the nut. This is one of my least favorite parts of the job because it's very time consuming. So you don't want to shave off too much. You want to make sure the shape of the nut is correct, and it just really takes time. So you're going to need patience because this is one area that you cannot rush. So once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and check the fitting of the nut in the slot. Looks like it's a pretty good fit. And with that, we're going to now glue the nut into the slot. Don't want to put too much glue on it there. We just want to thin it out a little bit. My glue got a little goopy, so it's a little more difficult to deal with. But the bottom line is you don't want to use too much. You just want to use really thin coat, not too much glue at all. Then we'll go ahead and fit the nut in to the slot for the final install. Size it up. Now that it's in, we just want to apply some pressure. And with that, we should be good to go. Let's move on to the second part of the installation, which consists of replacing the bridge saddle. First, we're going to remove the existing saddle from the bridge. Then what we do is we measure the existing saddle against the new bridge to try and get an idea of how the existing saddle was set up previously. Then we're going to mark and remove material from the new bridge saddle to lower it to the desired height. Once that's done, we'll go ahead and install the new saddle into the bridge. Here is the new Tusk saddle that we're going to use for the upgrade. And of course, here is the existing saddle that we're going to replace. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the existing saddle. Let me take a look at that there. And of course, our new saddle is going to go into this slot. So right now what we're trying to do is to size up the old saddle versus the new saddle so we can get an idea of how much we are going to remove from the new saddle so that it will fit into the slot. Of course, we'll be using the 220 grit fine sandpaper to remove the excess from the new saddle. And again, this is my favorite part of the job. If you don't have a lot of patience, this isn't for you. Well, here we go. Once it's done, let's go ahead and install the new saddle. Looks like a good fit. And since we're doing a setup, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some lemon oil on our fretboard. It'll clean it up and also give it some nutrients that it needs. Fretboard's a little dry. When you change your strings, it's usually a good idea to give your fretboard a little lemon oil. Keep it nice and clean and moisturized. We'll take a rag here and rub it in real good, wipe off the excess, so we'll be good to go. Let's move on to the final steps once it's done. We will then install the set of strings, the new set of strings that is. We're going to go ahead and adjust the truss rod accordingly, and we're going to play the guitar and make adjustments and fine-tune it as needed. Now, let's hear how the Yamaha FG820 sounds with the new nut, bridge saddle, and strings. Enjoy. In summary, at this point, I've owned my Yamaha FG820 for almost a year and finally found the time to get around to getting this work done, and I'm so glad that I did. My FG820 not only sounds great now, but it also plays great as well. And the upgrades were well worth the effort. Very happy with it. I hope that you were able to get a feel for what I was able to do, and that it will help you in your decisions in regards to upgrading your Yamaha FG820. Again, this is very important. If you feel uncomfortable or unsure about doing any of the work on your guitar yourself, please take your guitar to a professional service center and, get assistance and help from a professional luthier. You'll be glad you did. Well, that's a wrap. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and click the subscribe button on your screen now to join our group. We have new videos coming out every 7 to 10 days, and we would love to have you be a part of our group. Leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know what you think about this video. Also, while you're here at the channel, take a look at some of the other videos, listen to the music, and let me know what you think. That's important to me. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon.